Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Welcome to the Brentford versus Arsenal preview. It's a Wednesday evening. There is Premier League football later on. Man City playing against Fulham. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. We'll be talking about some of the news. Obviously, De Zerbi has left Marseille. That affects Nwaneri. Could he end up at Spurs? We've got them in a week and they've got no manager. Plenty to talk about. Before we get into it, if I could please ask you to subscribe. We're on the way. In fact, we are very, very close to 35,000 subscribers. If we can do like 50 subscribers in this stream, we'll have made it, which is unbelievable. If you could like the stream as well, those of you that are here early, absolute legends. I would be very grateful. Malik's here, Shayan, Vivi Vlad's in the building, Ethan Udall, Alki, Peter Holmes, Ian Likely Fraud, Sibs, Guna, Guna Steve, I should say, not just any old Guna. Oslo Guna's here as well. Saka is God, Robert's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ross Lawman, Shari, welcome. Loads of you. Absolutely love to see it. Pekka's in the building. Stabber is back. Can Reece Nelson play? No, Reece Nelson's on loan from us, so he's not able to play. Although, to be fair, has he been playing? Is he injured? I don't even know. I'd feel like I've not really seen him been playing. So, do we have a Nwaneri recall clause? No, we do not. Unfortunately. And look, maybe we wouldn't have triggered it anyway, to be honest, but it's a little bit frustrating, given that a lot of the talk was about the fact that we specifically chose Marseille because of De Zerbi, and he's already left the club, and the club's in a bit of a mess at the moment. It's not ideal. Reece Nelson's played 60 minutes so far. Yeah, that's crazy. 3 out of 6 on the Super 6 last night. Wish me luck. Ooh. Which results do you need, James? What results do you need tonight? What happened? Why are we calling for Nelson? No. Reece Nelson's on loan at Brentford, and we're just saying he's basically not played for them, and he can't play against us because he's on loan. Seb on Spurs, more like Seb is a bloody simpleton. Rory out, DT in, let him take over your channel. What is going on? What does that even mean? ESR injury time winner coming. The scenes. I hope so. Also, apologies for no stream or anything yesterday. I was on a long shoot with Zach Jalab, or for Zach Jalab's channel. Lots of videos coming soon. Good videos, good content. And on one of them in particular, representing Arsenal, I did us very, very proud. So keep an eye out for that on Zach Jalab's channel. Reece Nelson's one of the best wingers on his day. Single-handedly defeated Bournemouth, never forgetting him. Yeah, unfortunately, his days are very limited due to injuries. James needs 2-0 to Villa, 2-2 City, and 1-0 Sunderland. So Sunderland to beat Liverpool 1-0, City to draw 2-2 with Fulham, and Villa. Who are Villa playing? Who are Villa playing? Brighton. Yeah, do you know what? It's not crazy. I mean, I'd be more than happy if Liverpool lost than if City drew. I'd be more than happy with that. Brighton. Off topic, but on the way to Tromsø right now. Any recommendations? Oh, I've got loads of recommendations. It depends how long you're staying for, but I mean, you want to go whale watching if you can, 100%. The rib boat that we did when we went this time is insanely cold and it is quite expensive, so maybe just do the safari one. The dog sledding at the place that I did it, if you can do that, amazing experience. What else was there? I mean, the aquarium in Tromsø is quite cool. If you do the cable car, go up to the top of the mountain. It's not really a mountain, but go up to the top of the cable car. That's very cool. Don't take a bus trip to see the Northern Lights. It's not worth it. That is what I would say. The article about Frank being obsessed with Arsenal is so funny. Yeah, if you've not seen that, it is funny. So apparently, like, Thomas Frank arrived at Spurs and was just gassing up Arsenal the whole time, like talking to them about how good Arsenal are and how they needed to be like Arsenal. And in every sort of phase, Arsenal, and then all of the players and everything were just like, can you stop talking about Arsenal? Can you stop gassing up Arsenal? And then when the whole cup thing happened at Bournemouth, where he was holding the Arsenal Cup, apparently after that, all of the like memes and stuff of him being an Arsenal fan were being sent around by players. Absolutely crazy. Is Frank part of the Goon Platoon? I reckon Thomas Frank is an honorary member of the Goon Platoon. You know how sometimes like universities give out honorary degrees. I think we make Thomas Frank an honorary member of the Goon Platoon. It's only fair. It is only fair. Me and my other half just went to Tromsø. I second. It was fantastic. Yeah, it's an amazing place. I've been there twice. I love it. Poch in for the North London derby. Last time Arteta managed against him, we won 5-0. True. I don't think it'll be Poch. I think it'll be Johnny Heitinger when we play them. I think they're going to bring someone in until the end of the season and then probably bring in Poch after the World Cup. If not, they bring in De Zerbi right now. So, which would be annoying. The thing is, I mean, obviously we've got plenty of time. We've got 3 games before we play against Spurs, so we'll talk about that at a later date. Even with the new manager and all the rest of it, Spurs' squad is absolutely decimated. They have, going into the game against us, 12 senior players either injured or suspended. Obviously, Romero's suspended. They've just added Odegaard to that list with an ACL. It's crazy how many players they're probably going to have 11 fit senior players to play against us. We've had a lot of new manager bounces this season. Yeah, and other than Carrick, we've won all of them, right? Unless I'm misremembering, we've beaten all of them apart from Carrick, so not too bad. De Zerbi in. I think it could be De Zerbi. The timing is interesting, right? De Zerbi quits Marseille literally last night after the Spurs game, and then Spurs sacked Thomas Frank this morning. And De Zerbi was one of the names in the hat previously when Spurs were looking for a manager. So it's like, it seems like a bit of convenient timing. We didn't beat Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche. Yeah, but that wasn't new manager bounce. They'd had him for ages. I wouldn't call Sean Dyche new manager bounce. We beat Ange Postecoglou new manager bounce. Can we get a small preview for all of today's games as well? Yeah, we can talk about them. Look, but we'll get into, as always, we'll get through our Arteta's press conference. On Max Dalman, Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, Max is still not available. The rest we will see. On Dalman's recovery, he said he's doing very well. I think he will be with us in a week or so, and then he can pick up the rhythm and be available for us. So in terms of the Wigan game at the weekend, that isn't sounding great for it, which is quite annoying. That Wigan game would have been great for him, but it is what it is. You can't rush him back for it. On if we could see Mikel Merino play before the end of the season, he said, I think the doctors were really happy with the way the surgery went. Now it's the start of obviously a long process. We're talking about bone healing. So we'll respect the timings, and I'm sure he's going to do everything possible to speed that recovery time up. The timeframes we're talking about are months. Whether it is 3, 4, or 5, we don't know. Realistically, maybe we get him right at the end of May, but it's going to be difficult. He was asked about the Liverpool City game. He said, I understand the frustration that City won, but these are things that we cannot control. We have to focus on us in the present, and every 3 days, what's coming. Just enjoy that. If the players watched the match, he said they were really happy when we beat Sunderland because we knew that would be really tough. They may have been in their houses watching it, but we're putting all of our energy into what we do. That's it. Again, we've got to focus on us. Again, on playing twice before City next play in the league. Remain focused. That's going to happen. What's going to happen between now and the end of the season? It happened in the last 6 months. It's something normal, natural, and I'm looking forward to it. Focus on us. That is the biggest thing. We can't keep focusing on what City are doing. And if we win both of our games, no matter what happens to City tonight, if we win our game against Brentford and our game against Wolves, we'll be 9 points ahead of Man City, them having a game in hand at the end of next week. That's all you can do. That is all you can do. He was asked about Thomas Frank's departure. He said, obviously, it's very sad news when you have a colleague that doesn't continue doing his job because Thomas is an excellent coach and an extraordinary man as well, and he's proven that in the league. We know where we are and how our responsibility is beyond just performance, and I wish him all the very best with whatever he decides to do next. If Premier League clubs are more impatient, he said, I don't know. I don't think you can just take every example in the same way. Context is important. Every club is different. It's always a possibility. What he's saying there is, Arsenal have been very patient with him. On his longevity as a manager, he said, I think every era is different at every club. I think we have in the Premier League two of the most iconic managers with Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson for so many years. It's changed a lot from both clubs, so I don't know. It depends on many factors. And the first one is to have the players right behind you, enjoying what they do and believing in what you do. That's a big thing. I think he's talking about the fact that the players at Arsenal believe in him. He said then you have to win a lot of games because in the end, if you don't do that, you're not going to continue in a job. And in fairness, Thomas Frank only won 2 of his last 17 games. So that does make it very, very difficult to continue. He was then asked more stuff about various players, this, that, and the other. I think at the top of this, he was asked about Trossard rather than Max. I think this question was included Leandro Trossard. Basically, he said with Trossard, with Saka and with Odegaard, don't know. So that was basically, useless. Zubimendi up front. Got here late. Anything hugely important I've missed? Nah, not really. We were just talking about like Thomas Frank and De Zerbi leaving Marseille, which isn't great for Waneri. In terms of the team news, there's no new injuries. Saka, Odegaard, Trossard, we don't know. The rest we will see, is all that he said. Spurs play us next game. We have 3 games before the Spurs game. Tight schedule. Yeah, but it's not too bad. Like, realistically, we play Brentford today. We play Wigan at the weekend where we can rotate. Then we play Wolves away, which again, they're relegated at this point. Still got to go there and win it, but it is what it is. And a 12-day break is quite long. Obviously, they're going to have a new manager, which is probably useful for them, but a 12-day break, it's like when you go on an international break almost. You come back from it a little bit rusty at first. Are you going to any upcoming games? Quite a few away. Yeah, none of the away games. I'll be going to all the home games, so I'll be at the Wigan game on Sunday for sure. Technically, Trossard is a new injury. Yeah, kind of. I mean, in theory, it's just cramp. So I think the decision on whether or not he starts tomorrow will be purely based on fatigue. The fact that he was cramping up at the end of that game. Are the back post live streaming Spurs Arsenal on the 22nd? To be confirmed. That is to be confirmed because Seb will be at the Spurs game. Obviously, we can bring in a guest instead of Spurs, but our producer, Curtis, is also a big Arsenal fan that goes to a lot of away games. So if he wants to go to the game, then obviously we can't really do the stream. Why am I getting ads on the live? I don't know. Rory, can you blur me when I chat? I didn't consent to being filmed. What are you on about? Are you all right? Are you all right? Stream for the Brentford game? Yeah, we'll do a watch along for the Brentford game on Big Up. We'll be on Big Up for the Brentford game tomorrow. Managed to get my hands on a ticket to Wigan too. Buzzing. Yeah, the ticket exchange is pretty good for the Wigan game. In terms of the game tomorrow, let me just bring up the old FOTMob. So for Arsenal, for Brentford, they're pretty strong. Brentford are pretty strong. They've got very few injuries. If we look at the predicted lineup, they're looking at Kelleher, Ayer, Collins, and Vandenberg. Coyote and Lewis Potter as the wing-backs. Jensen, Yarmoliuk, and Janelt, Ouattara, and Igor Thiago. But in terms of players that are missing, Schada's suspended, De Silva's been injured all season, Carvalho's been injured all season, and Reece Nelson can't play. That's basically it. So, they're fit for everyone else. And with us last game, obviously we beat them comfortably in the last game at the Emirates, but they rotated because they had a big Premier League game coming up, didn't they? So this time I think they'll go full strength. For Arsenal, listen, I'm going Raya in goal. I would go Timber at right back. You can then rest him against both Wigan and Wolves, in my opinion. Like Brentford away is a lot harder than Wolves away. Play Timber, then give him like a full week and a bit off until we play against Spurs. I would go Saliba Gabriel. I would go Calafiori. Again, he was a bit rusty in the game at the weekend, but I think, we need to bring him back up to speed. And the only way to do that is by playing. And also he's so important for breaking teams down. I would go for the exact same midfield. Zubimendi, Rice, Havertz. Again, Against Wigan, you can rest both of them. And then even against Wolves, you can probably rest one of them. So I'm more than happy with that midfield. Havertz in there as well, I think is really important. I know some people would play Eze. For me, Eze at the end of the game, great. Bring him on when hopefully we're leading, Brentford are attacking, and there's plenty of space. But I think we use Havertz to go long. Is Capitano back? I don't know if Odegaard is back from injury or not. Even if he is, he wouldn't start, in my opinion. It would be Kai Havertz. And then the front three. Now, Madueke Gyökeres, yes. Then it's about whether you play Martinelli or Trossard or even Eze. Now, if Odegaard is back from injury and on the bench, I wouldn't mind playing Eze off the left because I've said before, right? I don't like this front three. I don't like a front three of Madueke, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. I think it's too direct. I think it's too like all three of them just want to run and none of them really want to slow it down. And look, Martinelli can do it, but I prefer someone technical. So I'd rather either Trossard or Eze off the left than Martinelli if possible, but it might not be possible. If neither Odegaard or Trossard are available, then I want Eze as an option to come on for Havertz in midfield, and I want and Martinelli to have to play off the left. The front three is too chaotic. Yeah, I agree. Chaotic is the word. That's a good word for it. How likely do you think Eze playing on the left is? I don't know. We've not seen it since flipping Villa, so I don't know how possible it is to see Eze off the left, but I think that would be a better option in my opinion. Was gutted Coyote didn't get a red card for last man penalty against Newcastle. Yeah, that would have been pretty useful. Coyote's been a very good player for them. That would have been pretty useful. By the way, there's like over 300 of you here. If you're not already, please do subscribe. We're about 50 subscribers away from 35,000 subscribers. If you could like the stream right now as well, that would be amazing. Is Saka available? Again, we don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think Saka's available. Of the three, I think Trossard and Odegaard are a lot more likely than Saka. I think Saka we're probably looking at next midweek against Wolves, hopefully, to bring him back in. Our best front four is objectively Nelly, Eze, Kai, and Saka. Has a blend of everything. Yeah, very possibly. Very possibly. I mean, we've not seen that as a front four, have we? We've never seen a front four of Martinelli, Saka, Eze, and Kai. So, would be interesting to see. Beck, thank you very, very much for the $4.99. Good morning, sports fans. Saw a crazy rumour of Pulisic to Arsenal or Liverpool. I love Captain America, but that seems insane. I mean, it makes no sense for Arsenal. I mean, sure, the transfer window's not open, right? Unless Pulisic isn't a free agent, is he? So yeah, I'd be very, very surprised if that happened. I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. No offense to him. What an interesting rumor. What an interesting rumor. But thank you again very much for the $4.99. Who is your favorite Arsenal player right now? It's honestly impossible to say. One thing I am loving is the return of Kai Havertz. I will say that. Rory, please go easy on the back post tomorrow. Don't need anything coming back to bite us. Yeah, I know. Got to be a little bit careful. But also, like, I still want to have a... You know, I said last night, obviously I was taking the piss out of Tobes and Seb last night, and someone commented being like, oh, I hate it when Arsenal fans do this because it's just like, we'll get calmer or whatever it was. And it's like, that's part of being a football fan. Like, that part of being a football fan is taking the piss out of your mates when their team loses, knowing full well if your team loses, they're going to give it back to you. That's kind of that's kind of how it is, you know? Got ads on the stream. Game's gone. I don't know. Yeah, a few people have said they've got ads on stream. I don't know what's changed, to be honest with you. I don't know what's changed. Is it a back post Goon Platoon watch tomorrow? No, the watch along tomorrow will just be me on my big up channel. There's no watch along on the back post. It will just be me. Smith Rowe last minute dagger. Who says no? I mean, I would love it. I'm getting ads as well. Okay, no ads for me. Ian, you haven't got... Yeah, if you're a member, you definitely won't get ads. If you're a member, you definitely won't get ads. That's part of being a member, is that you don't get ads. For other people... No, but Oslo Guna's not a member, but hasn't had any ads. And nor's Pekka, but some people are. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on. So I apologise for that. I've had about 3 ads. Manny, you're picking up the tab. Manny's picking up the tab for Pekka. Pekka's ads are just being sent to Manny. That's crazy. Anyway, in terms of the team, that's basically what I would go for. And it's going to be a difficult game. You know, you look at the Premier League table right now, Brentford are 7th. They're level on points with Liverpool, with the same goal difference as Liverpool. And their recent record is exceptional. Their recent record is, I mean, they lost to they lost to Forest and they lost to Chelsea. But before that, they went on a fantastic run. They've beaten Villa and Newcastle since then. It's an interesting one, right? Like, they lose 2-0 at home to Forest and don't look great. But then they go away to Villa and Newcastle and beat both of them in the space of a week. I have heard some Brentford fans say that they're actually worse at home than they are away. Now, if you look through here, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think they've had a lot of good results at home. It's an interesting one. But it will be a difficult game. I'm expecting them to sit deep. I'm expecting it to be difficult to break them down. And we'll see. Got you on my TV and doing the chat on my phone. Unreal setup. Josh has found the best way to watch. Any of you that aren't watching on your TV whilst doing the chat on your phone, you're basically just not living life right now. That is crazy. Can we please play against defenders who just decide to shove players in the back, like what happens to João Pedro? Honestly, I don't understand how that's happened in back-to-back games. Just the dumbest challenges. João Pedro's in the box, going away from goal, going nowhere, and it's just like 2 hands shove in the back, not even trying to make it subtle. It's crazy. Should have triple captained Gabriel this week. I forgot to captain an Arsenal player, annoyingly. I forgot to check it in time, and I didn't captain an Arsenal player. So, pretty annoyed about that. Did you see KSI calling Gyökeres a magnet? I didn't see that. But look, I want Gyökeres to continue firing, and I do think Gyökeres is massively benefiting from Kai Havertz. And if they can keep delivering, and if they can keep developing that relationship, that'll be really good for us. Did you see Palmer's miss? That speaks more to me than scoring 3 pens in 2 games. Oh, big time. Take away penalties from Cole Palmer, and it's a different story. Where are you in the FPL table? I don't actually know, to be fair. What, in the overall table? Or in the Rory Talks Football table? In the overall table, I am 2,648,000th. And in the Rory Talks FPL one, I am 90th. So there weren't even that many people in it, to be fair. How many people were in it? There's only 220 people in it, and I'm 90th. Absolute shocker. Absolute stinker. Philip Jakobsen's top 10 in the Rory table. You'll love to see it. Take away penalties from Arsenal. We never get pens anyway. Yeah, true. Do you know a crazy stat I saw today? We've scored more goals from outside the box at this stage of the season than any season since 2013-14. When people talk about us not shooting from outside the box enough and that we need to do it more and we just rely on corners and stuff, it's 12 years since we'd scored as many goals from outside the box as we have done so far this season, which is pretty impressive. Can we say the Caicedo versus Rice comparisons were settled last night? Caicedo was really bad last night. Both goals. Gives away a completely pointless, needless penalty, which really gets Leeds back into the game. And then even for the second goal, he's just stood in the box. It was a little bit like Odegaard when Villa scored in the 90th minute. Under your video, my recommended video of YouTube is Rice, Havertz and Timber holding the Community Shield and medal. Wish them many more this season. Hopefully. We don't get pens at the moment, but we also don't get red cards, so I'll take it. Yeah, that's true. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, Thomas Frank being sacked. Oh, yeah, we'll go through the other games tonight. That was what I was going to do. We'll go through the other games tonight. Now, Villa doesn't massively matter anymore. I don't feel like I'm looking over my shoulder at Villa. I think Villa are firmly in a Champions League race now rather than a title race. Against Brighton, I mean, Brighton's form's been terrible. If Brighton lose, I mean, they're 14th right now. They'll still be 14th, but yeah, they've dropped like a stone, really. For Villa, because United and Chelsea both drew, actually a win for Villa restores a little bit of that buffer. So it's a big game for them at home. They weirdly started losing games at home recently. They lost to Everton at home. They lost to Brentford at home. So yeah, that'll be an interesting game, I think. City, Palace against Burnley. Who cares really? I expect Palace to win. Burnley, I think, have resigned themselves to relegation at this point. To be fair, Dalman got us 1/3 of our penalties and he's injured. Yeah, Dalman is the sort of player that can win you penalties consistently. Saliba only has 2 yellows in all competitions. Caicedo has 12. Yeah, how impressive was that, by the way? Saliba's yellow card against Sunderland was his first yellow card in the Premier League this season. Absolutely insane. 25 games into the season. I think he's played, 21, 22 of them? First yellow card. That is nuts. Does anyone remember when United thought they were back? Yeah. Always funny. City Fulham. This is the big one. For City, I think they've got Ruben Diaz back now. It'll be interesting to see whether he starts. Obviously, Kusanov had that head injury in the game against Liverpool anyway. They've just got a lot of talent, don't they? For Fulham, yeah, I don't know what Fulham's lineup will be, in fairness, but who have Fulham got missing? Lukic and Kearney. That's it. Stones, Savinho, Gvardiol, Kovacic, Doku. Missing for Man City. A draw. I'll take a draw more than happily. If Fulham can do something to get points off this City team, I would be delighted. Fulham's recent record against City is abysmal. Same goes for a lot of teams, to be fair. I also saw a stat today. I think City are either... it must be that they're unbeaten in their last 55 midweek games in the Premier League. So, but you never know. These are the sorts of games, people go crazy about their result against Liverpool, and then these are the sort of games that you can slip up in. It's if City score early, I think that'll be it. But obviously they had that crazy 5-4 game earlier in the season. Forest against Wolves, you would expect Forest to win that one, with Wolves basically being relegated. I mean, Forest really need to win that one, to be honest with you. Never mind expecting it. If Forest don't win that, they're only 2 points ahead of West Ham United. So, yeah, that's really a must-win for them. And then Sunderland against Liverpool, where Liverpool are going to be in trouble. They're trying to work out who's going to play at right back. I mean, Curtis Jones, probably. They've got no right backs. They've got no Szoboszlai. It'll be an interesting game for them. ESR and Iwobi rise. Yeah, that's the dream. That is the dream. We said that last time they played, to be fair. Nice that we aren't depending on City results compared to recent seasons. We just need to win our matches. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, obviously, you're watching the game tonight hoping that Fulham can do something because it makes life easier for us. If City win, they close the gap to 3 points. We do our job tomorrow. And then we do our job against Wolves. And then it's a 9-point cushion with 11 games to go. And if you can get to that point, listen, the games start falling away quite quickly. If you beat Brentford and you beat Wolves, you've got 11 games to go and you only need to win 9 of them. Suddenly, 9 wins in 11 games, that starts looking much more achievable. So we've just got to keep focusing on us. Tick one game off at a time. Don't worry about City. They'll drop points. They'll drop points some way, somehow. Notice how all of City's injured players might be back just towards the end of the season, just when they need them most. Yeah, but I mean, that's the same with most injuries, right? At this stage of the season, unless you get like an ACL, then the hope is that you'd be back before the end of the season. Chukwueze, yeah, I mean, Fulham have got some players that can hurt City. Chukwueze, Kevin, obviously Smith Rowe, Harry Wilson. But we just got to hope. You have to start relying on City to lose when you're in second. Exactly. We've just got to focus on us. Brentford win so many penalties, we need to be cautious. Yeah, it's mainly Dango Ouattara. Dango Ouattara wins an obscene amount of penalties. And to be honest, a lot of them are very soft. But he's good at it. He is good at winning them. We will also drop points, but the whole fan base has to stay calm when it happens and not overreact. Yeah, 100%. Harrison Reed, top bins goal in the 94th again, please. That would be nice. Invite Jonathan Morley to the podcast. He lives in Ireland, so, it's unlikely. And we've played Liverpool twice this season. Oscar Bob Old Club syndrome. Yes, I like that. Fulham actually have a lot of attacking players, don't they? Kevin, Oscar Bob, Chukwueze, Smith Rowe. Brentford are the real set piece FC. Yeah, we've got to watch out for it. We've got to watch out for the Coyote long throw-ins as well. We've got to watch out for it. I think the squad depth is really starting to give effect now. It seems to look less fatigued. Yeah, and that's what we've got to just keep using it and keep rotating where we can. The other thing that I don't think people quite appreciate is as you get into the second half of the season, the opposition also become less intense. When you play teams for the first time in the season, there's just more intensity, especially for those teams that only play once a week. Now, for Brentford, this is a midweek game. That's not very common for them. The advantage they've got is that looking forward to the weekend, they've got an FA Cup tie against... Who's their FA Cup tie against? I feel like... Is it Hull, did we say it was against? It's definitely someone lower league. No, it's Macclesfield, rather. Yeah, so they play Macclesfield away, which is like... Obviously, Macclesfield did beat Crystal Palace, but realistically, Brentford will know they can go full strength against Arsenal and then rotate against Macclesfield. So there is a little bit of an advantage for them there. Harry Wilson from outside the box, hopefully. It would be nice. Norgard Old Club syndrome. Well, that would work if Norgard was allowed to play in the Premier League, but Arteta has other ideas. So, more difficult. Morley lives in Ireland. I genuinely can't believe that. Genuinely. Get in! Where does Bob even play for them with Wilson in good form? Well, I don't really know, to be fair. I don't really know. Does Wilson not play more centrally? Or does Wilson play off the right? I don't even know. I expect Oscar Bob will be on the bench, to be honest with you. David Raya, Old Club syndrome. Yep. Hopefully the fan base doesn't massively overreact when we inevitably drop points in the running. Hopefully not. Yeah, it will happen at some point. I think one of the big ones will be going to the Etihad. If we can come away from the Etihad without losing, and I know in the past people have said, no, you've got to go to the Etihad and beat City. Come away from there without losing. That's another game that City have dropped points in. And in terms of them catching us, that's another game that they can't gain ground on us in. At that point, you only need... You can still afford to draw another game and lose another game and still beat them. 400 people? Yeah, 400 of you in here is unbelievable. Like I said, if you could please subscribe... We're less than 50 subscribers away from 35,000. So I would be grateful for that. Arteta has never won at the Etihad. Yeah, but records are there to be broken. Pep Guardiola had never won at Anfield in front of a crowd before, you know? The other way of looking at that is that Pep Guardiola hasn't beaten Arteta in the last 6 attempts. So... PSG were having glimpses of last season against Marseille. My nightmare. I don't want to meet them at all. They frighten me. Full strength, we beat PSG over 2 legs. I'm absolutely convinced. Absolutely convinced that full strength over 2 legs, we beat that PSG side. I think we control games too much for them. Goal difference is an extra point. Yeah, we've got to keep plugging away at the goal difference. You've got to keep plugging away at the goal difference. I low-key want us not to win at the Etihad so that we can shut up those United legends about how you can't win titles unless you beat the title rival. I mean, I hear it. I'd rather just go and win at the Etihad and get closer to winning the title, but I know what you're saying. Because the idea that you have to go to the title rival and beat them at their ground to win the title is just fundamentally flawed if you look back at every single title winner and whether or not they beat their title rivals away from home. Victor really looks like he's getting into it now, hopefully. I think confidence is huge as well, Confidence is such an important factor, and what is it, 8 GA in 8 games? That gives you confidence. It does. I kind of feel like the form with the likes of Saka and also Gyökeres were never really noticed until after the United game. Kind of. It's the round of 16 draw for the UCL soon. End of February. I want to say February 27th. Someone can probably fact check me. But it's after they've played the playoff games. So obviously you've got next midweek, you've got the first leg of the playoffs. Following midweek, you've got the second leg of the playoffs. And then I think it's on that Friday. So what would that be, actually? Or maybe it would be on the Thursday or the Friday, probably. So it would be, the date today's the 11th. 18th, 19th. Yeah, I think it is the 27th. Maybe there is a reason that that's in my head. Yeah, there you go. Ross Lawman, February 27th, 12 p.m. Midday. Midday on Friday. Is it a Friday or is it a Thursday, that? 16 days' time. So a Friday. There you go. Who do you want Arsenal to face in the round of 16? Well, we've got 4 options. If you look at the old Champions League, how do I get to the Champions League? How do I get to the Champions League here? Go back to a Champions League game. That's the best way. So we're either going to play against Dortmund, Atalanta, Olympiacos, or Bayer Leverkusen. In terms of who I would back us to beat the most easily, it'd be Olympiacos. I know there's a bit of PTSD with Olympiacos, but I think they would be the easier of the teams to beat. I think Borussia Dortmund, to be honest, I think either of the Bundesliga sides, to be honest, I think we should beat all 4 of them quite comfortably. The one that I would least like, I would say, is Atalanta, because I think they're the most difficult to play against. You look at the way that Spurs played against Dortmund, there's no reason that we can't do the same. Bayer Leverkusen don't look great at all this season. So really, as long as we avoided Atalanta, I'd be fairly happy with that, I think. Do you think Arsenal would play Real Madrid again? Maybe, but Real Madrid have got they got to beat Benfica, and then they may well play against Man City. So we'll see. We'll see. Imagine we won the league at the Etihad. That'd be nice. The Alba miss against Olympiacos still hurts, honestly. Still, Aubameyang's miss against Olympiacos, like, top 5 most just deflating moments that I can remember as an Arsenal fan. Can Hincapié play against Leverkusen? Great question. Great question. I don't know. I feel like I remember there being a rule in the Champions League that on-loan players can play against their club. I feel like I remember that. Did it not happen with... who did it happen with? Who am I thinking of? It definitely happened with someone. Jackson played against Bayern? Or against Chelsea, do you mean? Asensio's the one I'm thinking of, maybe, yeah. Yeah. No, Coutinho against Barca. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Nailed it. That is the one I was thinking of. So, yeah, I believe Hincapié can play. Alexander has subscribed. Have we hit 35,000 subscribers? I feel like I just saw someone say we've hit 35,000. We've not. We're 19 away from 35,000. 19 subscribers away from 35,000. Come on. Keep pushing. Colo versus PSG. No, there are other ones that have happened, but the big one I was thinking of was Coutinho. Anyway, it is time for today's quiz question. Get your fingers on your keyboards. As always, first person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. Today's question is this. Brentford beat Arsenal 2-0 in their first Premier League game on the opening day of the 21-22 season. Who started up front for Arsenal in that game? Brentford beat Arsenal 2-0 in their first Premier League game on the opening day of the 21-22 season. Who started up front for Arsenal in that game? Thought that was a little fun question. I feel like a lot of people would have been, when I was reading the question out, they'd have been going for the... There you go. Ethan Udall was there. He would have been quickest. If that was the question, if who scored the 2 goals was the question, Ethan Udall would have won that one. But that wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. Good effort, though, to be fair, to remember that it was... A lot of people remember Norgard, but not Canos. Who was the first person to get the actual correct answer, though? Who started up front for Arsenal? It was not Eddie Nketiah. It was Folarin Balogun. RH3108 is the winner. Congratulations. It was Balogun. Second was Agnar. Third was Spencer. Fourth was Josh. And fifth was Diego Bone. There you go. It was indeed Balogun. Congratulations. Being absolutely mugged off there. Cheers, Rory. Sorry, Ethan. Sorry. But look, you showed knowledge. You did show knowledge with Norgard and Canos. But, yeah. And there we go. Ross Lawman, VAR, goal given to RH. Congratulations. I feel like RH is a very good player. I feel like RH is a very good player. The ad didn't help. That's brutal. If you got an ad during the question, that's brutal. Oh, that's crazy. Too many ads today. Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't really know how any of it works, so I'm gonna look into if there's a reason for that and if I can turn it off, because I don't want people getting spammed with ads. I've had 5 or 6 today. That's okay. I mean, that makes me think something's actually broken. Gyökeres creates space for Havertz. Havertz thrives in that space, and Gyökeres benefits as well when Havertz passes it to him. Facts. Ads are good for the channel. I mean, ads are good for the channel, but I'd rather people just enjoyed it, you know? YouTube Premium all the way. Yeah, if you've got YouTube Premium, you don't see ads. If you're a member of the channel, you don't see ads. But, you know, you should be able to watch it without having to pay money, ultimately. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream. I massively appreciate you all for watching. As always, please do like, subscribe before you jump off. Let's see if we can hit 35,000 subscribers tonight. We will be back tomorrow with a watch-along on Big Up. The link to Big Up is down in the description. I'll put out links everywhere. The Discord, if you want to continue the Arsenal conversations, go and join the Discord. Everyone's down there. And, yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow on the watch-along. Until then, I hope you have a good evening, and goodbye.